Should you buy an iPad or a MacBook? That is the million-dollar question that a lot of people face when deciding to buy a new device to get things done. Whether you're an artist that wants to animate on your iPad, a video editor that exports 8K clips daily, or just someone that needs a device to kind of do it all, this video will be breaking down everything to consider, including portability, flexibility, and longevity. Let's start off with portability, which I think is a key buying factor for a lot of people. Now, if you want the short and most obvious version of this, the iPad is obviously the more portable device, even if you compare it to something like the M4 MacBook Air. It's smaller, lighter, and it fits better into a bag. So if you're someone that commutes a lot and needs a device to bring with you, then it's really a no-brainer just to get the iPad. But there's a catch. In terms of productivity and getting things done, while you can be productive on an iPad, the iPad itself has a few physical limits. That means you'll have to bring a few more things with you. For example, a keyboard case, an Apple Pencil, maybe a mouse, and also don't forget your dongle if you need access to specific files or things. So there are quite a bit of things that you need to bring with you if you're using your iPad for heavy-duty productivity and you've essentially rebuilt your MacBook, but it is a bit lighter. Oh, and the ports. The MacBook Air has 2 USB-C ports built in, and don't get me started on the MacBook Pro, which has the beloved SD card reader built in, meaning no dongle for you. It just makes creating content, especially for those that do photo and video work, 10 times easier. Again, compared to the MacBook, the iPad is way more grab and go. It has amazing battery life and is probably perfect for creators that are constantly on the move. Something to keep in mind is that I personally felt limited by the iPad if I needed to do something like write a video script or edit videos because it's lacking those things natively. Portability is your ultimate goal. The iPad wins in this category, but it does depend on what you want to do with the iPad. You really need to tailor it to fit your creativity and productivity style as well. So yes, iPads are great for getting work done, especially when you're on the go, but what really takes experience up a notch is having the right setup. And that's where today's sponsor, MOFT, comes in. This is the MOFT Dynamic Folio. Basically, it turns your iPad into a floating, ultra portable creative workspace. It's super slim, lightweight, and honestly just makes using the iPad way more comfortable. Whether I'm commuting to work, on the train, or at a coffee shop, even at my desk, it just goes everywhere with me. The MOFT Dynamic Folio allows you to shift and tailor your iPad experience by offering 5 conventional angles that transforms your iPad from a flat screen to the ultimate light floating workspace. Let's look at a few of my favorite modes. There's float creation mode, which I personally use for video editing or taking notes during very long meetings. My neck actually thanks me for this one. Then there's floating theater mode, which is perfect for binge watching YouTube or Netflix because I do that proudly. But also when I want to be a little bit more productive, I use it as a second screen for referencing. I also use dual screen mode a lot. It props my iPhone right next to the iPad. It's super useful when I'm writing scripts and checking references or note-taking during a meeting. There's also portrait mode, which is my go-to when I'm reading through reports or if I'm pretending to read reports while secretly shopping for tech I probably don't need. Oh, and small detail but genius, there is a magnetic Apple Pencil holder that allows me to carry the Apple Pencil around and doesn't really block charging. It's really the little things. So yes, if you want to seriously boost your iPad workflow, whether for creativity, productivity, or a little bit of both, check out the MOFT Dynamic Folio. Links down in the description below. Moving on to flexibility. If you were to compare the two softwares, that's Mac OS versus iPad OS, Mac OS is way more flexible. It runs full desktop apps like Final Cut, Logic Pro, Xcode, whatever you need, and it's essential for professional creatives. The iPad versions of these are more limited and mobile apps, which is ironic because the chips inside are really the same. A lot of people point to Apple not wanting to cannibalize Mac sales if they put full-fledged apps in their iPads, and that's for another video. What I can say is that, again, if you want to get some serious work done for a long period of time, you'll need the full apps offered on the MacBook. I don't think that's my personal opinion. I think that's the truth. In addition, multitasking on the MacBook is miles better. You can run several apps, keep them open in several windows, drag files between way easier, which works a lot better for professional workflows. On the creative side though, particularly for artists, I think this is where the iPad actually is gonna take the lead. Being able to use software like Procreate to sketch or make little tweaks to your videos in Final Cut with the Apple Pencil is a lot better on the iPad thanks to the touchscreen. So if you're an artist, then the iPad again is best built for you. It's less flexible. The iPad has an incredible amount of power and it's still running software that treats it like a supersized iPhone. All right, let's move on to the final thing, and that's longevity. macOS has better long-term software support and tends to stay powerful for more longer. I have a 2021 M1 Pro MacBook Pro as my main editing machine, and it's running great. That's not a knock on iPads. They actually age pretty well, but iPad OS updates often underutilize the hardware because again, the powerful chips are limited by the software. Many people still use a 2015 to 2017 MacBook for real work, from video editing to app development, and that speaks volumes. My fiance has a 2016 iPad, and while it still works, I can't even imagine using that for any kind of creative work. It's not just like how long does it turn on, it's how long can it stay useful. MacBooks win right there because they have better software support, better resale value, and are much more future-proofed. The iPad, it's like buying a Ferrari and being told that you can only drive in first gear. So you kind of have to ask yourself, will an iPad meet your needs in 3 to 4 years down the line? That answer may be no, but statistically speaking, the MacBook generally would. So to wrap this all up, a quick speed run on who should get what. If you are a creative on the go, someone who sketches, you take handwritten notes all the time, you edit videos and photos very casually, and you value portability, you should go with the iPad. It goes well with an Apple Pencil and the MOFT Dynamic Folio. Now, if you're a power user and you need multitasking and traditional file system, full apps, then you have to get a Mac. And that's all there is to it. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you found it useful and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you in the next one.